Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and time you are coming across this video. If you're new to this channel, please can you subscribe and like the video.
Someone said the fall of man is that he didn't pay tithe. I had another preacher in Africa here, close to us here. He said, you know, the fall of Adam is he ate the tithe.
And God said to man, I've created all things, giving it unto you. There is one thing to you, including God's time.
Why are you talking about tithe? Is Mammon dealing with you that serious? That you reduce the entire plan of God's redemption, the death of Christ, 3 days, 3 nights, the resurrection power to Mammon, the evening sessions. At a point, he just said, don't touch the tithe. Don't touch the tithe. Then he walked a few steps. He said, you know, the fall of Adam was that he ate the tithe. What? Inside that church, I didn't know when I said, what? Mama did me like this. I said, wait, did you hear that? I said, this is the last time we shall come to this place. The fall of man is that he ate the tithe. I thought I'd finish hearing it till I had another preacher in Africa here, close to us here. He said, you know, the fall of Adam is he ate the tithe.
Tithe is not a law. The issue of tithe is under the principle of first things. God came from eternity into time, created the stars, the moon, the sun, the heavens, the elements. And God said to man, I've created all things, giving it unto you for your benefit, for your use. There's only one thing I ask of you that stands for my honor and reminds you that it doesn't matter how powerful you are, and the fact that the entire universe is placed under your command and under your jurisdiction, and you do as you please. There is one thing, which is the tithe, 10%, the 10th, say the 10th. And God said, the fruit of the tree of good and evil is only one thing that will remind you that there is a source of all things. So you can keep the 90, do whatever you please with the 90, but the 10th is mine. And even that man says, no, I want the 90, including God's 10.
Which tithe? If man fell by the tithe, then it means salvation will be by the tithe. Then there's no need for Jesus to die. That's an insult on the work of redemption. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin. Sin.
If you've been watching, tithe have been a very big issue in the body of Christ, that everybody and everyone is complaining about tithe, and we don't really know who is right and who is wrong in the issue of tithe, because every father have their own perspective of tithe. But the question here is, that is Pastor or Dr. Abel Damina right, or is Bishop Duncan William right? The question here is that all of them have been talking about the issues of this type of a thing, and we don't really know which person we are going to support. We don't really know which person we are going to believe, because all of them are still making the same point, the same thought, and the same assumption about the issue of this tithe, and nobody is making the differences. All of them are still saying the same thing, but just that in the other side you be hearing what the last man was saying, and what the last man was saying was not all that making sense. And if you calculate it, you find out that the issue of tithe paying should not be compulsory. Tithe paying should not be something that you force on someone. But all of us we are still paying tithe with our normal sense. We are still running those things just to enable the run of the church. Sometimes the run of the ministry should to be effective. But the question here is that, is what all of them are doing right, or are they just doing it for their own sake? Are they doing it for what they will gain? But paying tithe have been the routine of the church from the day we were still little children, from the day we were still kids. But in this era of life, and if you keep watching Dr. Abel Damina, you understand that he have his own perspective, his own mindset, his own different arrangement, his own different view of it. The way he run his own things and the way he do his own things is different from all those men of God. And even Apostle Joseph Suleiman collected same man collect tithe. All the ministers so far that have preached used to collect tithe, but the issue was just that his own is different. But normally he used to collect tithe, but recently everything have changed. If Dr. Abel Damina kick against tithe, my question here is that why can't he return those ones he have collected from those people? But if he cannot return it, why can't he just allow people that used to collect tithe be on their own? Well, there is this one statement Dr. Duncan William mentioned